For Meta is that the best when it's been shared with others in DMs a lot.
DM comment automations is about giving your organization the power to engage with your community at scale without having to bring in 20 employees.
You get more engagements on your posts. You get more followers potentially out of this. You get data collected.
Right. I've been seeing people say, share this post to me via DM with this keyword. So they're taking this post, they're sharing it to the brand with the keyword, and that triggers the automation.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. With all the social media management features that we built, right, that you would expect out of an SMM platform such as scheduling, planning, responding, running reports, listening, building link in bio pages, running employee advocacy. We've recently ventured into the world that typically social media management platforms don't, right? And that world is the world of automating your DMs and comments. It's a feature that has so much potential and has so many sort of capabilities to it, so many benefits to it, that it's just completely mind-blowing. But at the same time, it seems like a lot of brands don't even know that it exists. Can you, like in a few words, try to define what that feature is about? You'll give it a shot, I'll give it a shot. We'll try to like explain that feature, because at the end of this video, we want people to drop everything and begin automating.
Yeah. I think in short, DM comment automations is about giving your organization the power to engage with your community at scale without having to bring in 20 employees. In real time, whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning or it's a Sunday, that it's going to be taken care of. And there's a lot of really practical ways to solve for that, whether it's to drive more sales. I mean, we're gonna talk about a lot of those. But for example, we do webinars a lot of times. And so it's been really cool to see that we can have maybe a reel or a carousel or a post where we ask them, hey, comment this, and we'll DM you a link to our webinar so you can get signed up. And we might even be able to capture emails or something like that via the DMs, but it's all automated. No one had to sit there and respond. And so at scale, having to go through 50 DMs or 50 comments, 100 comments on one post is crazy.
Yeah, that's an awesome example, right? So let's kind of just rehash that one more time. So a company is hosting a webinar. As all webinar hosters know, right, it's very difficult to get people to attend, right? Very difficult to get people to sign up, or even if they do sign up, they don't come in, or vice versa. It's difficult. So I guess the scenario here is that you post about your webinar on social, as you normally do, right? And then in your messaging, you entice sort of the people, tell the people, right, to leave a comment underneath the post with the word webinar, or any other word that you want to use, like I'd love to attend, or I want to be there, like whatever keywords or words you want to use. So you're posting on social and you're asking the people to leave that comment. And this is, by the way, just an example, just kind of feed sort of your interest here. And then all these people begin to kind of starting to leave the comment. And then you have ability to automatically respond to that person in private, in DM, with either with a link to the webinar, if that's all you wanted to do, or with the questions such as, what's your email? And let the person enter their email, which you capture, what's your name, and then you send them the link. A few things are happening here. So first of all, today, let's talk about Instagram, for example, right? There is really no way for you to get signups off of Instagram onto your webinar, because there are no links in posts. All of a sudden, you can actually take the social posts and get people into your webinar, get them those links, because DMs have the links. So that's like one major benefit. All of a sudden, you have your links on Instagram. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
But also, all these extra comments that are triggering the automations, they're going to massively impact the algorithm. You had posts 1 or 2 comments, now you have posts with 100 comments. Yep. Instagram is going to think that much more of you. So I think that's a very good example of something that is completely effortless for any marketer, that they can simply enable using DM automations.
So when you're going live, I see that a lot too, right? And that's the challenge. You're going live, unless you've got a team behind the scenes, sitting there in the inbox, trying to respond. It's very tough to be active, engaged on an Instagram live and be responding to all this stuff at the same time. But that's another opportunity right then and there. You're telling your audience, your viewers, drop this in the comment. I'm going to
Drop
send
it
you
in the
this
comment
resource.
in the live, and it's automatically they get responded with. Listen, you can even take it a step further. You can say, follow me, and then leave a comment, and then we're going to send it.
Yeah.
So not only will you get your live, sort of get those extra comments and sort of get that engagement, but also you get the extra followers because now they're not getting their freebie or they're not getting their discount or their cookbook or anything like that, whatever you got to share, until they follow. And it's kind of cool because you just check the box when you create an automation. Then in order for people to get my things, like they're going to have to follow me.
Yeah.
So again, effortless follower growth in that case. I love the example of the stories, right? Stories are highly consumable content, but they exist and then they disappear. So they're like for 24 hours, the story is there. It could be the coolest story, right? And you can't really do much in terms of engagement because the story is there. People comment or, reply to the story, which ends up in your DM box, right? And then it's still kind of difficult to just handle all these things, right? Again, you run your story, you create the necessary automation to respond to all those story replies. You send people the links, and you build that audience, right?
Yeah.
So I think, again, to me, it seems that a lot of agencies' focus, right, and brands' focus is on getting the content out there. Everybody knows that responding to conversations is very important, right?
Yeah.
But what's even more important, based on like some of the meta research that we're seeing, is that quick responses are very important. The fact that you responded to a DM an hour later just diminishes the value. Not to say even like the day later. At that point, you don't even have to respond. But if you're not able to respond quickly, that's a window of opportunity. I think DM automations kind of give you that ability to respond to DMs that much quicker. So again, to reiterate, you get more engagements on your posts. You get more followers potentially out of this. You get data collected.
Right.
Collect those emails, collect those phone numbers, right? Build the sort of the CRM, send it over to your mailing list later, right? So all that stuff, right? And you are massively saving on the time that you would have taken otherwise, right? To kind of respond. Any other examples of like good sort of applications of stories?
I saw, we watched that Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, video maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit less, where he's talking about the strength of the share, right? If you share this post to the DM, how massive of a signal that is to the algorithm that this is an engaging post that should be sent to more people for higher reach and all that, right?
Right.
I've been seeing some brands starting to, instead of saying just comment this keyword and I'm going to send this to you in your DM, I've been seeing people say, share this post to me via DM with this keyword. So they're taking this post, they're sharing it to the brand with the keyword, and that triggers the automation.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
But now you've got the comment, but maybe instead you try the share and see which one's going to give you more push in the reach, So I think that's a really cool thing to try as well.
That's awesome. Again, I want to just reiterate, effortless.
Yes.
So things that would take, multiple people. Like, listen, even we struggle with it because it's such a laborious activity to respond to DMs, to respond to comments. And I think everybody understands that every comment should be responded to. If you really want sort of engaged audience, like you have to be there. And a lot of agencies obviously operate at thin margins, so they can't really dedicate like full-time resources to this. So this will be like a no-brainer for a brand to go out and do this. I'll give you an example. So we had a viral reel on Instagram a couple of weeks ago where we do a lot of reels, but not every reel is viral, right? And it was getting just a lot of likes, but this particular one, we would get a lot of comments. And we're talking about I think we had over I want to say several million views and like thousands of comments for whatever reason. Again, this was a meme really, so not, but we just hit gold, I guess, with it. And sort of social, she went in and she created the automation to, again, it's a viral reel, which is great. Every brand wants it. Fantastic. You already won when you got that, right? So you're already getting all these impressions. But the problem is that you're really not kind of getting anything else out of it, right? So she simply went in and she created an automation that basically DM'd people when they left a comment. And the cool thing here is that it doesn't have to be like, in this case, it wasn't even a specific comment. I think this reel was about maybe even DM automations itself or something. Like it was about like this whole concept of like automatically responding, and people, I guess, loved it. So her point was in DM, she just sent the link to learn more. That's all she did.
Nice.
But just think of it, like we were able to contact like several thousand people and several thousands of people, like to send them the link.
That many more leads
Effortless,
generated effortlessly. Yeah.
effortlessly. Otherwise, you have to do what? You have to like go onto Instagram and start with like DMing people one by one. So it was such a great example of how enormously and then we saw the web traffic right away because all these people clicked on links. So again, it's such a in the linkless world of Instagram in particular. And by the way, I should mention that this works for, in our case,
Facebook.
across Facebook as well and on TikTok, right, as of recently, and soon LinkedIn. But yeah, so I keep on just thinking about the whole sheer power, right, of this thing to be able to like mass contact people. And what's also interesting is that in talking to like Meta and TikTok, they love the idea. So they literally, like, out of all the things that they allow and don't allow tools to do in terms of automation, fostering comments and DMs, they just ecstatic that brands are doing this. So I would imagine that it must translate into other benefits for your profile.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's there's a reason those are strong signals for them. They see people stay on Instagram and on Facebook, and I'm sure on TikTok longer, the more engaged they are in the comments and in the DMs. So I did a webinar a couple weeks ago, and we had some small business owners who were like, hey, I'd love to use this feature. I have no idea what to send these people. Like, what kind of content should I be creating that would even be relevant?
I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I think everybody struggles. It's a common struggle, right? So these these freebies, these guides, these white papers, these how-to guides, right? It seems like the more mature brands, I guess, have the necessary resources to create all these research papers, white papers, guides, and whatnot. And the smaller brands struggle with it, right? But I implore you to go out and try Claude or ChatGPT at this. Say, for example, you want to give your audience a 5-day routine that they will do for the next 30 days to build up their followers or something on Instagram or whatever network. Let's say that's the freebie, that's the giveaway that I want to do, that's the guide that I want to create. With decent prompting, I've created an incredible guide that we've shared as a giveaway.
Nice.
Using Claude. Again, I think ChatGPT will deliver the same thing.
Yeah.
It's graphical, it's snazzy, it's fantastical looking, it's hosted by them as a result. So I think we should maybe put a link in this video, like if you guys are interested in knowing how to create these freebies, let's host a webinar and like show it.
Even when we're talking about prompt engineering, Claude and ChatGPT, like let's give people a little bit of clarity on what does it look like. So the customer I was talking to, they had, I think it was like an airplane repair business, and it was like super cool. Like they'll like fly their engineers out to your place and fix your airplane and fly them back no matter where you are in the world. It's pretty cool. And the sister company, I think, also sold airplanes. And so we're chatting, and they're like, listen, this is an amazing feature. I'm just trying to figure out like what kind of lead magnet would even make sense.
Sure.
Right. So obviously I gave the whole spiel about ChatGPT, but like we did like a live scenario together. And the idea was this, right? Like if the goal is to build potential leads, people who will either eventually want to buy airplanes with us or need to repair their planes and want them to think about us, why don't we create a lead magnet? It's like, hey, these are the top 10 most important maintenance things you'll need to do in your plane within the first 2 years of owning it, right? And maybe another one that's like, hey, these are the top 10 planes that give you the least headaches if you're getting into, your private aviation, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's like a simple thing. You've got the knowledge, you're the owner or the marketer, you know what your business does. Throw that in ChatGPT, figure out what are the pain points that the person wants to solve and what are the things that I can help them with that when it comes time to making that purchase decision, they're going to remember me because I helped them to solve this or gave them more knowledge about that problem that they were considering. Easy to do. Like you said, ChatGPT, spin it out.
Easy. I mean, real estate company, I think I've seen an example, like a real estate firm that like is located, I guess, somewhere in North Carolina. They did like a little pamphlet, also all ChatGPT generated. They did like, I guess about 15, 20 important numbers in the local area. Like everything from the fire department number to like a local council member to a school district number, just something that you kind of put on your refrigerator, just like top numbers, right? So again, I think if you need ideas, I think even ChatGPT can help with that, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Just tell it who this is for. But I think generating a PDF, generating a nice image, has become so much easier, which is right, which is important in a case of a giveaway kind of example. So with DM automations, while all sorts of automations are possible, right? So you kind of want to give, right? So there's this kind of concept like comment this, get this, right? And for that, please follow me. So there is that transaction that kind of happens. So obviously you want that to kind of be valuable. But I guess all we're trying to say here is that if before you were thinking that in order for you to get something valuable, you have to like hire a graphic designer, hire a creator to kind of put that together, no more. Like you can really create something.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that, maybe not everybody, but we have quite a bit of business servicing the religious institutions with social media. I would imagine like in their case, maybe like a nice prayer list or something, right? To kind of be delivered to you for as long as you comment something, right? There's like so much stuff that you can kind of do. If you are like a brand selling stuff, maybe anytime somebody comments the word coupon or discount, there's always like a DM going, right? So like endless opportunities to sort of just engage. So yeah, don't know, like the recommendation would be like, don't underestimate like what you could do and give away. There's always something, so.
And is there a way to maybe follow up, right? Like we send them this thing, we maybe want to re-engage them, kind of keep them top of mind, re-engage the people who maybe didn't click or haven't checked. Like, is there an option to re-engage?
Yeah, so what we have like in the current version is ability to kind of delay in between. Let's say you send them the one DM, and then like I don't know, if you like a few hours later, you can send them another one. We haven't built anything that kind of like re-engages them like a week later.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, some of this re-engagement is kind of problematic because there are some privacy policies as to who can be re-engaged after, I believe, 7 days on Meta.
Gotcha.
Even 24 hours in some cases. So there's this concept of like a warm-up DM where you send the person, hey, I want to send you something, click this link, they click the link, and that kind of initiates the conversation. So I think there is some balance there. But I think fundamentally this whole follow-up concept kind of flies in the face of what Meta says. Like Meta says kind of like the idea of what the signals they look at when they determine the most successful signal, and the most recent signal that we have, the most recent information that we have from Meta is that they consider content to be best when it's been shared with others in DMs a lot.
Yeah.
It's not your likes, it's not your comments, it's that. So we know that that's kind of what Meta says. So today they say that in order for you to kind of get the most out of your DMs, you got to respond to them really quickly. The faster, the better. Seconds later, minutes later in the worst case scenario, hours later, you're not getting anything. Wow. People moved on. Like people, they don't remember why they DM'd you in the first place.
That's true.
So that quickness is what DM automations give you. But I'm not saying that it's you can still couple that with anything offline as well. Sure. Remember that you can collect the details off of them. You can collect the phone numbers or their emails, and you can email them later, even outside of USML platform.
Yeah, there's just so much power, and I think you couple now the ability to create all these lead magnets very quickly without a gigantic team, like you're saying. Also now with the power of, I don't need a gigantic team to be sitting there responding all hours of the day. That combination, I think, if you are a business, a brand, an agency, and you're not getting into this right now, you're going to get left behind quick.
You're simply getting outpaced, because if you are able, old school, have a person there respond to, I don't know, how many DMs can a community manager respond to in a day? Call it 100, call it 200. Like there's still a limit. Yeah. And also timeliness. Yeah. Even if you only get 100, it's still going to be minutes, maybe hours, right? So this enables you fast response, and that community manager doesn't have to be laid off. You just can do other things, oversee your DMs and make them creative. Like it'll just be a different focus altogether. Absolutely. But again, I think this notion that others are simply outpacing you is really important, because there's this, everything that happens on social media happens within this sort of time frame window, right? For example, we were in a Threads summit recently, the Meta Threads, and they talk about how they prioritize content even that's posted within the last 24 hours. They recommend that everybody post every day, for that matter, right? Because it's only like the last 24 hours. So I think like that just exemplifies desire by these networks to provide super fresh content and give people perception that the network is like super updated. Everything is real time. Like everything is right then and there when you need it.
Right.
Like anything that kind of feels archaic, offline, we'll get back to you within 24 hours. Like they just don't think, that's just a viable kind of recognition of the new realities. I think the new reality is that people are in the moment, right? Yeah. And DM automation kind of surfaces that. And I think, again, just to kind of also talk about how unique this offering is. I think we kind of talked about this when we covered link in bio and how mini websites are there to replace regular websites, right? And while link in bios that we build are not necessarily revolutionary, there are like plenty of tools out there that offer link in bio. The fact that it's coupled with an SMM and the fact that it's right then and there, you post something to your Facebook and you can post something to your link in bio. That was the important link. And that's why a lot of people started to use our link in bio solution, the Vista page. I think DM automations are the same thing. There are tools out there that allow you to do it, but it's disconnected from your SMM.
Yeah.
Right? So you post the content. So like in our case, you can post content, you can schedule content, and you can prepare your automation to be activated when the content is published, right? So versus if your tools are not connected, if you're using DM automations from, I don't know, any other provider and then SMM, so you have to really juggle between the tools.
Yeah.
And I won't even go into the money savings. Clearly, this is a free feature for all of our users versus it could save you another subscription. So, sorry, a little bit of a
all the
sales pitch.
reporting's all in the same place too.
And the reporting too. So again, I don't mean to be selling here, but it makes total sense. So please
makes
sign
sense.
up. Please sign up.
DM us this.
Oh yeah, by the way, as you're watching this, if you DM, what should they DM? Let's come up with the word so like anybody watching this can DM us. Why don't you DM podcast?
Ooh.
So if you DM podcast, we'll DM you a 20% discount, and we know that you saw this. And you'll just appreciate how powerful this is. And you know what? We're not going to ask you to follow us, but to make it easier.
So kind. Look at that.
So DM podcast as a comment to any of our reels on Instagram or any of our stories, and you're going to get something back.
Awesome. So DM comment or DM podcast, like
Don't
that
confuse
phrase.
people. DM podcast, one word.
Because I thought you were trying to say DM us the word podcast.
No. DM podcast, one word.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody again for joining us for today's episode. We appreciate Vitaly. Again, the features that we keep building in, it's not just stuff for people to use. These are solutions. These are things that are going to help people to generate more business on social media, to be more interactive, to generate more results that they want to for themselves or for their clients on social media. So if there's a topic you want us to cover, you have an idea of a solution, something that's been really frustrating for you in your marketing efforts or social media, reach out to us. We're here to help, and we'll see you in the next one.